G'day everyone, welcome back to Nat's Knackers Yard. I'll be Nat. This will be my Knackers Yard. A bit more on the XJ650 today. I don't intend to try and start it or do anything loud because it's Sunday as much as anything else. Well, loud. I'm never quiet, but that is turbo loud. I'm waiting on delivery of the 2 pipes from Dan Barnes. Thanks again, mate. To see if I can get it to quieten down a little bit. They are good pipes, good uppers anyway, good header pipes all the way back. It's getting something to fit that 36mm. They're grafted on, but they're also straight throughs, and it's just a loud boy. A few people have said about the idle, have you rejetted it, etc, etc. I haven't played with any of the carb settings. It's, in my humble opinion, a bit of a fruitless task at the moment. Now, I don't have an airbox on it anymore. I do have those pod filters. I could restrict them more, yeah. I could reject, yeah. You are all completely and utterly right. I haven't done it yet, purely and simply because, in my humble opinion, until I sort out what exhaust is there, I'm kind of I'm trying to play with an equation with 7 or 8 variables, or at least 2 variables. If I can close down the pods, because that's what I want to run it off, and if I can sort out an exhaust, whether that be using Dan's twins that he's got coming or the other one, that is the point when I can then start pissing around with the carbs, in my humble opinion. But that's my plan anyway. Now, you may remember the dog, especially for Berg Bog. I know you love the dog. So I got this dirt cheap off Tintranet. It had been bodged together and sold as perfect. I got it dirt cheap, so I wasn't overly bothered. But basically, they've just filled over it, chuck a bit of spray paint on it, and sell it as a good one. I have had a go at repairing. As awful as that is, the intention is to wrap it, so I really couldn't care what it looks like. But it is not stainless because it is magnetic. I think it's just, chrome steel. So what I'm going to do is hack off the dodgy repair and do another one myself. I may have a go at, oh, that's interesting. I wonder if that's just, it's just weak magnetic because it's over metal. I'm going to hack off the repairs. I mean, it is pretty fucked. It's not even the worst bit, The more you look, the more you find. My shadow's in the way there. Yeah, I mean, I'll hack away at what I've got. I may break out the welder and see if I can do something, but it is very thin stuff. And I don't have a TIG, which would be better suited than a MIG. But saying that, I've seen videos of people repairing with a stick weld. Ugly as hell. But frankly, again, I don't care if it's ugly, as long as it works. Right, I might just take that branch off, just to give me a bit more access, excuse me, and then start hacking away at the old repairs. Okay, so this is the sort of crap I'm dealing with. What sort of surprises do we have in store here? I think this is more hole than exhaust. Look after that dog. Right, so that's post my little Dremel. Pretty blunt now. I've got a couple of wire wheels that is realistically carnage. Look at that. Jeez. Well, I've got some rust converter. I'm going to drown it in that, and then see if we can do anything about it at all. It's going to be ugly, but whether or not it works is my crucial concern. Right, next step. I would normally use Hammerite stuff, but I don't know if anyone else has noticed that Halford seem to have fallen out of love with Hammerite, and they don't have any Hammerite products anymore. Certainly my one doesn't. Don't know why. No idea. Maybe they priced themselves out. On the bright side though, big pot. Now this stuff, I think it's the same as a Hammerite. You are supposed to yeah, put it into a as in not dunk your brush in it, because it screws the whole lot. So I've got a little pot down there and I'll give it a coat or two. Alright, the more and more I look at this, the less and less material there is to actually weld to, so I'm just going to codge it with gun gum. Just little and often. So you could just whack a big lump on, but it just won't cure that thick. So I'm just going to do it in little layers like that. Reasonably neatly, not like that. And then just build it up. So it's gun gum time. Right, and a shed load of gun gum later on several layers. I filled out the gaps between the pipes, reason being it's going to get wrapped across, so I didn't want it flapping around. That's going to get a good few days worth of drying. For no other reason, I only ordered the wrap yesterday. It's a massive bodge. There's no two ways about it. I've had a bit of a sand back on my first attempt. Actually, it's not, well, it's horrendous, but it's not as horrendous as that. I may have condemned my welding too quickly, and I thought I'd show you my experiment. So, low level day, so not really starting bites and things. I have got my my cheapy welder up and running on min 1, so on its lowest setting. We used to have a trampoline that basically died over several years, and these are the struts. Now it's not that different than exhaust. It's mild steel, I think. I've given it a clean up, and I thought for a bit of welding practice I sliced off a section and just welded it back on. Now as I was welding it, I blew a big hole in it, as I routinely do, which I'm now struggling to find, which has got to be a good thing. Can't find it. It is a good thing. It's on one of the flatter bits because I had a load of material on there, and I seem to be able to close it up. It obviously got bigger before it got smaller, and previously when I've been doing it on an exhaust rather than a test piece, I've kind of panicked and stopped when it got bigger. I'd sworn a lot, blown the hole bigger and given up. So I thought I'd do a bit of an experiment. So what I've got is a slice section out. Obviously I'm not going to crimp that together, that's a straight slice. I just want to see if I can weld that up, and I've drilled a hole. I think that's an 8mm drill bit. Now obviously this is clean, fresh, relatively fresh steel with no rust, etc, etc, but I just want to see if it will close up. So I thought I'd set you up, and you can laugh at my welding and say, what do you mean you did a course? That is shit. It is shit. Right, let me get you set up and we'll have a go. Now one of the main bits I got out of the course doesn't really count on this, because I've got flux wire rather than gas, or gasless I should say, or flux wire, whatever you want to call it. Trying to get you to see, there we go, my scabby welder. What I don't have is, so the flux is within the wire. I don't have gas creating an inert section around it. So one of the big bits I learned was my the angle of my welder. Less relevant in this because it doesn't matter, but I'm still trying to do it. So let's see if I can close this hole a bit. The main bit I learned, you can probably see me, is to get a lot closer, because I was doing it all at arm's length, and Yeah, that was the suggestion, was just get closer, don't be afraid of it. That's a good point. Right, see what I can do. It's going to get worse before it gets better. And I know this is dog shit welding. I'd love to just zip straight across, but this is too hot and I can't reduce the setting any more than it, any lower than it is. So I'm just going to tack it, I think. If I do too much, it's just going to burn it wider. Burning a bit wider already. No idea if you can see any of this. Yeah, you actually got a decent view. Right. Not far off. Right. Experiment part 1. Whilst that is cooling. Obviously that's covered in flux, so I'm going to have to clean that off. It doesn't look too terrible. Well, it does look terrible, but I think it'll dress up okay. Right, now there's a big test. Can I get to the bottom of that hole? I'm a bit close to my earth there, but hey. Right, can I close this up? And obviously it's perfectly round and it's on brand new or nice clean steel. Right. Pretty horrendous. Massive bird shit on the side, but I'll let that cool down. And then give it a clean up and you can see how successful or not I have been while I practice on another bit now. Okay, and the big reveal. That's off the first one. I don't have a flat disc, so I'm using a paint remover disc, so it's taken bloody ages. But not quite, but not 1,000 miles away. Ditto with the hole. I might just, whilst I've still got all my kits set up, I'll see if I can close them off a little bit more. May as well. Shits and giggles, it's all good practice. Where's my yak gone? Right, my battery just died, which is an indicator that I should probably knock it on the head. Second attempt, focal. Not quite sealed it up. Still warm, but not too hot. But maybe baby. The hole is a lot more successful not perfectly flat, but that wasn't what I was after. But there's no hole there anymore. Focus. Hello. Hello. There we go. It's not a hole anymore. So what? Well, this wasn't about whether or not one can MIG weld with a flux gasless welder on exhausts. It was if I can. There is a big difference. So I've got a fallback. If all of that if all of that gun gum just collapses and dies, which it probably will, then I could probably make a hash at welding it. But that really is a last resort. First resort is on Dan Barnes's pipes, as when if they came through. This is really a shits and giggles, low level, dip in, dip out on a Sunday at time of filming, because I've been doing loads of other shit as well. So yeah, I think I'll wait and see when that wrap arrives, chuck some on that exhaust, see whether or not I think it's going to hold at all, or whether or not it's just all going to collapse and fall apart. But first option will be midweek at some point, whenever we deliver the pipes that Dan's very, very nicely given me. And I'll see if I can get those to fit on. Right, that'll do me. Bit of a weird one, but and a really bodgy one. That's what you get with a tit in the shed. Cheers all, I'll catch you later on. Ta-da.